What's up, my friend? Abby here, and welcome back to another episode of Writer's Life Wednesdays. Today we're talking about how to be a faster writer. More specifically, the exact method I used to write a 76,000 word novel in 27 days. Let's go. Okay, so I'd like to start by saying that I have never been like a particularly fast writer. Okay, so I know some writers who are just, they write crazy fast and they write like 20,000 words in a day or 10,000 words even in a day, and I'm over here like the most words I think I ever wrote in one day was 6,000. So many times I have tried to write faster, I've tried to crank out those words like those other people can, and it never really ended well, and I always felt discouraged and disappointed, like, am I just not a fast writer and I can't be a fast writer? Not necessarily. It is possible to become a faster writer, and it's amazing what just a few little changes to your lifestyle or your writing habits can just totally increase your creative output. It's awesome. Now, don't get me wrong, there's absolutely nothing wrong with being a slower writer or, just writing at your own pace. There's no right or wrong way to write, okay? There's no right or wrong pace at which to write at. This is why I write, because I can't speak. However, it can be helpful to know how to crank out those words really fast. So I still wouldn't consider myself a fast writer per se, but I am much faster than I used to be. The first time I did NaNoWriMo was 2015. I wrote a 50,000 word book and I just barely made it at the deadline. But this past year, when I did NaNoWriMo in 2017, I wrote a 76,000 word novel in 27 days. So I actually hit my 50,000 word deadline 2 weeks into NaNoWriMo. And that was just like really exciting for me because I'd never written that fast, and it was just, I hate to say this because I don't want you to feel bad, but it was just coming really, really well for me, and I always looked forward to writing every single day. And I think that the story itself, I obviously was very excited to write, but also, these habits that I implemented in my writing process definitely helped me to reach that goal so quickly. So let's talk about what those habits are. Number 1, writing sprints. I know, you might have heard about this before, you've probably done it before, maybe you hate it, maybe you love it, maybe you don't really feel any particularly strong feelings towards it. I, for one, hated word sprints when I first tried them. I was doing it like against other people, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. I'm just not a competitive person at all. So it never really encouraged me to write faster, to think like, oh, somebody else is writing at the same time and I have to like kind of word war them. That's just not my personality. That might work awesome for other people, so if that works for you, totally keep doing it, but it just didn't work for me. So what I found did work for me was to set a timer. I would do sprints of 25 minutes on and a 5-minute break. So I would set a timer for 25 minutes and just write, and then the timer would ring 5 minutes. I would get up and just not look at it. I wouldn't go back and read it. I would just get up and go stretch or something, breathe for a few minutes, and then go back and do it again. The logic behind this is that when you have a timer ticking down beside you, it's hard to get distracted, okay? You won't want to look out the window. You won't want to go on Pinterest and find cookie recipes and print them off and go to your kitchen and start making cookies. You won't get distracted as much because you have this timer here and you're like, okay, I set a goal, I set a timer, I'm gonna write. And you're determined. And determination will get you far, my friend. That's why writing sprints really helped me. But how do you get focused in the first place? That's where number 2 comes in, and number 2 is eliminate all distractions. You saw that coming. You're gonna tell me to shut off my phone. Yep, shut up your phone. Turn off the Wi-Fi. You don't need it to look up a word, do your research later. Just write. Writing is not sunshine and rainbows. It is not easy. It takes determination. It takes discipline. So turn off your Wi-Fi. Turn off your phone. You will be happy and you'll thank me later. Also, another bonus is that when you open an internet window, it'll be like no connection, and you'll be like, oh yeah, that's right, I'm not getting distracted. I can make cookies later. Which leads to tip number 3, and tip number 3 is no research allowed. This isn't really a tip. These aren't really tips. They're like rules. They're like really aggressive rules. I cannot even begin to describe how many times I've stopped writing in the middle of a scene and been like, oh wait, there's a piece of missing information here, I need to go Google that real quick. It's never real quick. It's like 3 hours later, you are reading about something that has nothing to do with your story, or maybe you're printing off that cookie recipe again. This has happened to me an embarrassing number of times. And that's because research is hard, research is grueling, research is very time consuming. It's never real quick, okay? One Google search leads to another and you won't find the information you need. So what I suggest you do is while you're writing the scene, if you have an area where there's missing information, just write a note to yourself. Write it in brackets, highlight it, red, bold font, whatever, to make you see later. You can go back and fix it. Just write missing information. What does this mean? Or where was this person born? Or where did this culture begin? You don't need to look that up right now, okay? Write the note. Move on with your writing. Move on with your life. Very similar to number 3 is number 4, and that is don't find the right word. Do you ever struggle to find the right words to describe what you're trying to say? Yeah, me too. It doesn't just slow you down, it makes you literally stop. Like stop dead in your tracks, stare at the ceiling, stare out the window, think, and then go to thesaurus.com and try to find the right word, and then you're bombarded with all these articles that's like 1920s slang that we should bring back, or like all these old words that are really cool that nobody says anymore, or how your vocabulary will tell you how old you are. Suddenly we're taking all these like word quizzes and looking through slideshows, and were we supposed to be writing? Oh, I forgot. It's NaNoWriMo, or it's some incredibly important deadline, and I'm supposed to be writing right now, but all I want to do is look at these fun articles. And just like that, your word count goal is flushed down the cosmic toilet of digression. So how can we avoid this terrible fate? By not finding the right word. You heard me. Stop trying to find the right word. Just write down what you think it is, okay? Write down the description of what you're trying to say, or just a weaker word, and then like highlight it. Tell yourself, I want to find a better word for this later. Don't let it slow you down. Number 5 is make your schedule known. All writers endure an insane amount of interruptions, right? Whether it's by your family members, your friends, your roommates, your pets, any other sort of life form that you live with, they will interrupt you and ask you to do things for them, or ask you questions that can really just wait until later. It's annoying, but most of the time they don't even realize that you're writing. They don't even realize how important writing is to you. So that's why you have to make your schedule known. If you are going to set aside time to write and you don't want to be interrupted, tell people that. Tell them, I'm writing right now, I'm going to be writing this month, or I'm going to be writing for these amount of weeks or these amount of days, and just let people know that and be like, this is very important to me. See, if you're constantly being interrupted, you will not be able to write fast. You will not even be able to write in general because you're constantly thinking about other people's problems. This is your work, okay? This is your talent and the thing that you love to do, so you need to just focus on this. Don't let them interrupt you. Ask them politely to leave you alone, or you can ask them rudely, or you can threaten them at knife point. Number 6, don't stop to read or edit anything. This one is so hard because I love to read my own writing. Literally nothing entertains me as much as my own writing. So that being said, you can imagine how difficult it is for me to avoid the temptation to stop writing, just take a break, scroll up the page, see what I've just written, see, look how much work I've already done. No. Don't do this, because you'll start editing, you'll see things wrong with it, you'll start editing, you'll start rewriting sentences, and you need to not do that. This is the first draft process. It's gonna be messy. You can go back and edit it later. In fact, you'll be better at editing it later because then you'll be farther away from it because you stepped away from it for a few minutes and you didn't like just write it and then read it. Makes sense, right? Number 7 is kind of counterintuitive, but it is, don't think about writing faster. You would think that the more your aggressive writer brain screams, write faster, the faster you write, but that's actually not how it works. You are actually putting your brain under more stress when you do that. You're getting anxious, you're getting worked up, you're thinking about, oh, what if I don't hit my word count goal? What if I can't write that fast? What if I'm just not a fast writer? And then you're like panicking, and now your brain has gone into panic mode. And what your brain does in panic mode is it searches for the closest short-term pleasure so that it can alleviate this pain and this stress of being under panic mode and under anxiety. And what is that? That's ice cream and Netflix, okay? That's not gonna help you reach your word count goal. It's not gonna help you be a faster writer. Instead of saying write faster, say to yourself, write the next sentence, and the next sentence, and the next sentence. Number 8 is establish a routine, not a reward system. I have a big problem with reward systems, especially when it comes to writing, because it's just, they've never worked for me, and I've always felt like it makes writing more of a chore and something that I just have to get through so that I can get to the reward at the end of the chore. If you like reward systems for writing, I'm not telling you what to do. Yeah, I am. This whole video is just me telling you what to do. If that works for you, great, just keep on doing that. But for me, I like to make my writing time part of the reward. So even if you're a professional full-time writer and you have deadlines like all the time, you can still make writing an enjoyable experience. Instead of saying to yourself, I have to write, say to yourself, I can't wait to write. So instead of treating writing like work, treat it like freaking Netflix. Treat it like your comfort. Treat it like it's something that you love to do, because I know it's something that you love to do. If you enjoy the process of writing, you're much more likely to write better words in less time. Number 9 is don't push yourself. I know, this sounds counterintuitive again, but the thing is this. When you push yourself beyond your limits and drain your creativity, you need to rest. Just like working your muscles, creative work is hard work. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm kind of an overachiever. I like to do everything. Like, everything. And that's not always a good idea. In fact, it can sometimes be harmful to your creativity. So just like your physical body, don't push yourself so hard that you like literally crack and you can't do anymore. Here's a piece of advice I stole from my awesome sister Kate. Stop writing before you get tired of writing. This is such a great tip, guys. If you stop writing right before you get tired of it, or you get like kind of losing your creativity, then you'll return to your writing wanting to write the next scene. You'll be excited to pick up where you left off because you weren't drained when you left it. Make sense? It's like faking out your own brain. And finally, number 10 is accept who you are and where you're at. Every single writer is a different story. Pun intended. Every writer has their own limits, so don't look at another writer and be like, oh, I'm such a slow writer compared to them. No, you're not a slow writer. You're a different writer. They have strengths and weaknesses, and so do you. The solution is self-acceptance. So this video has covered some of the things that might be keeping you from reaching your full potential as a fast writer, but once you reach that potential, once you have removed all these stumbling blocks that are maybe keeping you from that, you have to accept what that is. I'm a faster writer because of these habits, but I am not the fastest writer I know, and I don't think I ever could be. I know, not a very encouraging way to end the video, but I think it's encouraging because this will be inspiring when you get this and you accept it. Do your best, focus on your strengths, not your weaknesses, and accept where you are when you feel like you are, in fact, doing your best. So there you have it, my friend. If I want to write a book fast, these are the things I do every single time I sit down to write, and I hope that they maybe help you to write faster. But remember, never hate on yourself, never judge yourself for not writing as fast as you want to. Everybody is different, and if you're starting to not like your writing and like not like the process of writing, maybe you need to slow down. I love NaNoWriMo. I love setting goals and I love accomplishing things under a certain amount of time that I thought I'd accomplish them, but you have to be kind to yourself. So comment below and tell me what you think of this video. Are you a fast writer? Are you a slow writer? Do you like NaNoWriMo? Do you like word sprints? Do you like competitive word sprints, or do you just like word sprinting with yourself? If you like this video, please smash that like button. It really helps me out. And be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because I post writing videos every Wednesday. Go write something, because you're probably procrastinating writing by watching this video. Rock on.